Hey guys, Alex from Zephyr here. I'm a commercial pilot in Australia. Just wanted to talk to you about some of the gear I use and the general requirements of operating a drone in Australia. Let's get to it. Here we have the DJI hardshell backpack, which you can get along with the Phantom 3 Advanced we have here. Just open her up. It actually opens backwards to what you'd think. So yeah, neat polystyrene protection, and the hard shell is good against the weather and while you're carrying it around, however you do that in the car or on a motorbike or something, which I tend to do a bit. So obviously we've got the controller here with the iPad or iPhone carry holder here. And yeah, so that's fully adjustable, and we can go through the controller at a later date, but I'll show you the general kit that I take. So obviously got the drone itself here, which normally, as you might see there, the gimbal lock normally is in place during travel, and you take that out obviously once you start up the drone. Then we've got, I normally carry 2 batteries with me, and these are the intelligent flight batteries. That little easy button just to tell how much charge you got going in there. What else we got? So I've got a weather meter here, which is a really handy little tool that plugs into your iPhone via Bluetooth, and yeah, you just hold it up into the Airstream and get accurate at the site weather readings, temperature, all that kind of stuff, so you know if you're operating the drone below the limits of the wind limits for the drone. As well, that comes with the drone, which I always take with me because you never know what you're going to do at the time, is the full set of props and then the spare set as well. So they're probably going to be the first thing that breaks if something happens. Put those there. And then the spare set. And then the rest of the stuff is more, obviously the iPad cable, which you definitely need, as well as the iPad. Check us out, iPad. Yeah, so the iPad there, I use the iPad mini. I found that's a really good size for viewing. Operates, I don't know, as good as I thought. And the iPhone I'm normally using for the other stuff like the weather meter or stuff like that. And this is your sunshade, which I always put on. It still can be very hard to see the screen, even with these sunshades on, but it gives you a lot better deal than not using one. So yeah, that mounts up like that, and then it holds in. Looks something like that, obviously with the cable running through it. Don't have a laying in at the moment, but that's something I want to get into. Make it easy just to hold that so you can have your hands free if you need to do something. What else have we got in here? This is sort of more, I've got checklists, important. Coming from a commercial aviation background, checklists are important. They might seem stupid at the time. You might think you look like an idiot reading off a bit of paper while you're out there flying your drone, but these things, as might look like a toy, they're not really a toy, and you can forget things. You mightn't set up properly if you're just rushing, so always take your time, get a checklist out. This is one just from the internet, but shortly you're going to create some proper checklists similar to the ones I use while flying for the airline. So yeah, checklists are very important. And there's another one here, as you can see, in the works, just gear. Make sure you take the stuff when you're out in the field, because if you forget it, you've forgotten it, and that's it. So that micro SD card reader, very important, because these are all micro SD cards at the moment. So if you want to offload data, if your card's full, you can do that on the go. And here we've got just some accessories, a few of the shock dampers and securing pins. What else is there? There's a little, I think it's a torque wrench to hold the motor while you turn on the secure the props, but I never use that. And lastly is the power cable charging. Don't normally take this out on the field, but if I'm away for a couple of days somewhere, I will take that. So obviously I can keep them all charged. And yeah, that's about it. So it's not the biggest case. If you're looking for space, as you can see, it's got a different mold for different types of controller, but everything else fits in there pretty snug. So I mean, you could probably modify it a bit, but that's what fits in there, and that's about all you can get in there. Obviously you saw that sunshade doesn't really have a spot, so I just leave it under there, which is not ideal, but it works. And yeah, a nice easy carry case you can take with you wherever you go. It's a nice backpack, good supportive arms. I mean, I've trekked up mountains and ridden motorbike with it. I've taken it all sorts of places, so that's very, very good. And yeah, don't forget to like the video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video, guys.